Hi guys, let's talk about Patreon. For those of you that don't know, Patreon is a way that you, the viewer, can support content creators on YouTube and other places by pledging a certain amount of money per video or per month to said content creator. It gives them a stable and pretty reliable source of income and allows a lot of people to do this for a living, myself included. It is no exaggeration to say I pretty much do this because of the generosity of my patrons. They are allowing me to do this for a living, and that has never been more true since the problems YouTube's been having with adpocalypse. Right now, it is safe to say channels like mine exist because of the generosity of people pledging through Patreon or subscribing on Twitch or just donating via PayPal. This really is a viewer-driven business. When it comes down to it, it's no longer an advertiser-based business from YouTube. You guys keep me and many other content creators afloat. So you can imagine when we all started receiving information about changes to the financial situation, the way they were charging the patrons, we were all pretty damned nervous. I mean, I read a lot of stuff they sent me and some stuff that they were sending to patrons themselves, and it was confusing. Now, I think I understand it, but I can't even promise that that's the case. What I can say is, if I'm right, they have explained this very, very badly because it's not as complicated as they seemed to make it sound in writing. The short version of this story is they've started adding an extra charge to pledges each month. And that charge is to cover the costs of the transaction. For example, when they withdraw money from PayPal or a bank, there is always a transaction, a fee, and they are now charging the patron for that. So obviously a lot of people are saying, well, why do they suddenly have to do this now? And the fact is they've always had to do this. It's just what they did is they would withdraw whatever you'd pledged, and then they would take the transaction fee out of the money they'd withdrawn before they distributed it to the content creator, taking 5% for themselves. They've just moved the charge onto you, the patron, rather than the creator. That's literally what they've done. The charge has just moved. I am no longer paying the bank fee. You are if you're pledging. And I think that's absolutely stupid. The thing is, the reasoning behind it actually makes some sort of sense. What they're saying is it was difficult for a content creator to know how much money they were going to get from Patreon because there were these charges, and the charges varied month to month, place to place. And so they wanted to simplify it by making it one set charge and giving it to the pledger so that the final amount that got promised to the content creator was absolute. He could look at it and he would know, or she would know, that's how much I'm getting, right? Whereas under the old system, it could vary. In fact, it usually was a few $100s below whatever the amount listed said, because these charges would come out. And as I said, there was a little bit of variability. But here's the thing. I do not know of a single content creator on Patreon that was complaining about this. I know I wasn't. I can't imagine anyone was sat around going, oh, I can't believe I've got to pay these bank fees for the money I'm getting from these generous people. Nobody said that. Nobody said that as far as I know. You know, we knew to expect some loss, some charges. We knew to expect that. But I think the vast majority of us were just so thrilled and grateful to be receiving this support that it never occurred to us that this was a problem. Now, Patreon seems to have taken it upon themselves to say they want to make things a bit more predictable for the content creator. I also suspect they're trying to future-proof the system, because obviously as time goes by, there will be inflation and the charges are going to grow. And there may one day be an instance where the charge for the bank is actually greater than the amount being pledged, and then technically under the old system the content creator pays money, he loses money for that pledge. So I kind of get it, I kind of understand what they were trying to do, but I think they failed. I think they could have gone for a much simpler system that just let the patron, the pledger, know how much was going to get charged by the bank or PayPal, so that the patron knew that they, I'm pledging $1, but there's probably going to be about 35 cents charged to PayPal or by PayPal, sorry. So the content creator's only going to get 65 cents, and obviously Patreon will take their 5%. But here's the thing, I don't think that was a problem. I mean, I think everybody at some level knows there is a transaction fee going on somewhere, and for a patron, for a pledger, they just want to support their content creator as simply and as easily as possible. You know what? I like your content. Here, have $1 a month on me. And, they feel good. They're supporting their content creator. And the content creator feels good because he's now supported and can do this. Everybody's happy. The content creator, yes, he has that little variability on his income, but it's nothing compared to the variability of YouTube. Really, Patreon is a pretty dependable and reliable base upon which to make a YouTube channel. But now what you've done is you've made the patron, the pledger, the person giving the money, you've made them have to sit down and go, okay, I want to pledge, I want to give $1 of my money, but now I'm going to get charged 35 cents. Alright, so I need to pledge 64 or 65 cents, and then when the fee goes through, that'll be $1. Okay, I can do that. They need to do that calculation if they want to spend the same amount of money, if they want to know how much they are pledging. Because let's face it, people who are giving money also need to know how much they are actually giving. They need to understand this. And so, whilst you may have made it simpler for the content creator to figure out what they're getting per month, you've made it more difficult for the person giving. This is the absolute wrong way round to do things. The generous people who do not have to give money want to make it as easy and as simple and as streamlined and as uncomplicated as possible. If somebody has to look at something and get out a calculator to figure out how much they're going to generously donate to someone, there's a chance they might, I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered with this. So, whilst I honestly think Patreon are trying to do the right thing, I don't think there's any nefarious will here. Because they're still, claiming their 5%. I just think whoever came up with this idea really doesn't totally understand who the important people are here. They seem to be focusing on the content creator, not the patrons, the people who support them. And that's the wrong way round. Another problem for the new changes is the fact that it does hit the small pledges more than the large ones. If you're pledging like $100 or something like that, some massive amount, the amount you're getting charged as a fee is going to be about 2.9%. So you'll see it, but it won't be as noticeable. But if you are pledging $1, of course the 35 cents base is going to make up the bulk of the fee. So you're actually going to be, a $1 pledge, you're going to 8 cents on top of that. That is a 38% increase. That is massive. If you're, pledging $20 to one content creator, your charge is going to be a lot smaller than if you're pledging $1 to 20 content creators, for example. And you are going to have to calculate how much to change the pledge so that you're still pledging only $20, or you're going to have to stop supporting some of your content creators. And so this change just seems to be, it just seems to go against the entire point of Patreon, because that, for me, Patreon is about people just thinking, you know what, I like your content, here's $1, here's $2, I hope you can keep making the content. If you keep making it, I'll keep watching it and I will keep supporting you. It's just making life difficult for the very people you don't want to make life difficult for, the patrons, the people we all rely on. This is just such a bad idea, and I wish there was an option on Patreon to take the charges back onto myself, so that, you know, this could be an option. There should be some way of me making the process easier for you to give me money. I mean, to me, that just strikes me as good marketing anyway. Make it easy for the people giving you money to give you money. Don't complicate it. That should be the most obvious thing ever. So yeah, that's the current situation, and I've had a lot of people messaging me and saying, is everything okay? Are you okay? I think I'm okay. It looks, I don't think much has changed realistically vis-a-vis my situation on Patreon. I do know a few people have contacted me and said they just can't afford the new changes and they've apologized. You do not need to apologize to me ever for not being able to support me more than you already have. If you've even supported me one time for 1 month for $1, you've done more than you had to do, and I really appreciate it. You do not have to apologize. Honestly, please don't feel any guilt whatsoever. You are the heroes in this situation, and you've got no need to feel bad at all. I totally and utterly understand. And of course, I've said this since the start. It is important that you make sure you are financially secure before you try to make sure I'm financially secure. As I've always said, if I can't make this work, it's up to me to find alternatives. It's up to me to make this work for me and my family. You guys need to prioritize yourself, definitely, okay? Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about for now. We can chat about this a little more on the Patreon Christmas Q&A ramble stream, whatever we're going to call it. That should happen next week. If you are a patron, keep your eyes open on your inbox. There will be a message telling you when and where, and you can come and ask me questions and tell me what you want me to do, and we can just, you know, chew the fat, I believe the saying is. Why is that a saying? Is chew the fat? Am I getting my sayings mixed up? I probably am. I'm going to stop now because I've definitely wandered off into the ramble zone. So, thank you for listening to me ramble on. I will catch you next time.